2026. The name Monte Carlo is back. And this time, Chevrolet isn't pulling any punches. You're not looking at a retro rehash or a half-baked badge revival. The 2026 Chevrolet Monte Carlo is a bold statement, one that merges classic American muscle car heritage with futuristic engineering. It's a car that doesn't apologize for being dramatic. And on today's episode of Build and Burn, we're taking a deep dive into everything that makes this car one of the most talked about releases in recent years. Now, let's rewind for a moment. The Monte Carlo has always had an identity crisis, but in the best way possible. Was it a muscle car? A luxury coupe? A NASCAR legend? In truth, it was all three. From the SS 454s of the 70s to the Intimidator editions of the early 2000s, the Monte Carlo was always a symbol of power, style, and attitude. And just when it seemed like the nameplate was lost to time, Chevrolet surprises everyone. The 2026 Monte Carlo isn't a sedan. It's not a watered-down front-wheel drive commuter. It's a rear-wheel drive, performance-focused grand tourer designed to fill a gap that's been wide open since the death of the Camaro. Chevy knows what this is. And they're not shying away from it. So let's talk specs. First, under the hood. You've got two core engine options. The base model? A 3.0 liters twin-turbo V6 making 405 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That alone would have been respectable. But for purists, and we know you're listening, the SS trim throws down with a 6.2 liters LT2 V8, naturally aspirated, pushing out 520 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Yes, that's basically a Corvette engine sitting in a coupe that weighs just under 3,900 pounds. No turbo, no hybrid, just raw V8 power. And if you're wondering about electrification, yes, Chevy has confirmed that a Monte Carlo F is coming later. But for now, they're leaning hard into the combustion crowd. No apologies. No compromise. Both engines are mated to a 10-speed automatic gearbox, co-developed with Ford. But the SS also comes with an optional 6-speed manual. That's right, a manual in 2026. No gimmicks. No rev-matching override. Just a clutch, a stick, and a license to destroy your rear tires. Speaking of which, this car can absolutely burn rubber. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds for the V8. Quarter mile in the low 12s. And the sound? Deep, angry, mechanical. None of that fake speaker-enhanced nonsense. It roars like a proper American muscle car. But it's not just a straight-line brute. Chevrolet went full send with the chassis. The Monte Carlo rides on GM's Alpha Plus platform, a refined evolution of what underpinned the 6th-gen Camaro. That means near 50-50 weight distribution, magnetic ride control, and a multi-link independent rear suspension tuned for real-world performance. It's agile, tight, and responsive without feeling twitchy. Now let's step inside. The interior? Way beyond anything we've seen in past Monte Carlos. Think less budget coupe, more American GT. The cockpit is driver-centric, but not claustrophobic. A 12.3-inch digital cluster sits in front of the driver, and a massive 15-inch OLED touchscreen floats in the center. It runs GM's latest Ultifi software, and it's snappy, customizable, and actually useful. There are physical knobs for volume and climate thankfully, and a full heads-up display on higher trims. Materials are high-grade. Real aluminium accents. Optional Alcantara-wrapped dash. Recaro sport seats available in the SS with heating, cooling, and memory functions. No fake carbon fiber, No glossy fingerprint traps, just clean design with attitude. And yes, it has a back seat. Technically. But don't expect to haul adults long distances. This is still a coupe, after all. Fold the rear seats down, though, and you've got decent cargo space for a weekend getaway or a run to the track. Let's talk driving modes. There are 5: Tour, Sport, Track, Snow, Ice, and Custom. Each one tweaks throttle mapping, steering weight, suspension damping, and exhaust tone. In Tour mode, the Monte Carlo is surprisingly docile. You could daily it, no problem. Smooth shifts, quiet cabin, adaptive cruise. But flip into Sport or Track, and the whole character changes. Steering tightens, the exhaust opens up, and the suspension firms into a road-hugging beast. Launch control is standard on the SS, and line lock is baked in. For those unfamiliar, line lock allows the front brakes to hold while the rear wheels spin freely. Yes, that means smoky burnouts are just a few button presses away. Classic Monte Carlo mischief. Now, let's talk about what it looks like. This isn't retro. It's not a throwback design. But there are hints, nods, subtle cues to the past. The front grille is wide and low, flanked by razor-thin LED headlights. The hood has aggressive sculpting, with optional heat extractors on the SS. Side profile? Long, lean, and just a little menacing. The rear fenders flare subtly, hinting at power without overdoing it. And the rear? Quad exhaust tips, full-width LED light bar, and a ducktail spoiler that screams a 70s muscle with modern flair. It rides on 20-inch wheels standard, with optional 21s wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Brembo brakes are standard on the SS, and the rotors are massive 14.6 inches front, 14.4 rear. This thing stops as well as it goes. Color options are also worth mentioning. You've got your classics, Summit White, Black, Torch Red. But Chevy went bold with some new shades too. Midnight Galaxy, a deep, metallic blue-black. Solar Flare Orange. And Velocity Violet. Pair any of those with the optional blackout trim package and you've got a street weapon that turns heads and drops jaws. So who is this car for? Well, that depends. The V6 base model called the LT is aimed at the modern grand touring crowd. People who want something sleek, fast, but livable. It's not slow, and it's loaded with tech. But the SS? That's for the purists. The ones who still care about naturally aspirated V8s. The ones who want to row their own gears and slide around corners with the traction control off. And pricing? The LT starts at around $42,000. Fully loaded, you're looking at $50,000. The SS starts at $56,000, with the manual transmission available at no extra charge. Spec it out with the track package, recaras, and upgraded sound system, and you're hovering in the low 70s. Expensive? Maybe. But compare that to the last-gen Camaro ZL1 or the Mustang Dark Horse, and it's right in the fight. And it feels special. This isn't a parts bin special. The Monte Carlo is here with a purpose. Chevy isn't trying to chase European coupes or appease regulators with a bland hybrid. This is a car built for driving pleasure. For power junkies. For people who want to feel something behind the wheel. It's loud. It's brash. And it knows exactly what it is. But what about competition? You've got the Mustang, obviously. Ford's new S650 generation is a worthy rival, especially with the Dark Horse and GTD trims. But the Monte Carlo has a more premium edge, less muscle, more GT. The Dodge Charger F is coming in hot, but it's fully electric. That's a different audience entirely. And then there's the used market Corvettes, BMW M4s, even old Hellcats. But none of those are brand new, warranted, and backed by GM with this kind of presence. There's another factor, too, availability. The Monte Carlo is launching in the US first, but Chevrolet has confirmed it will be sold in Canada, Mexico, and parts of the Middle East. No European launch planned, at least not yet. That means you're not going to see a million of these on the road. And in a market oversaturated with crossovers, a coupe this bold stands out like a flame in the dark. Now let's talk about potential. Chevy hasn't said anything official yet, but let's speculate. A Monte Carlo ZL1? It's possible. Drop in the LT4 supercharged V8, tune it to 650 plus horsepower, and you've got a spiritual successor to the Camaro ZL1 or even the CTS-V coupe. An AWD version? Maybe. GM has the tech. What about the F? We've heard rumors of an Ultium-based Monte Carlo with dual motors and over 700 horsepower. That would be wild, but for now, all eyes are on the V8. And here's what we think will happen. The Monte Carlo SS is going to become an icon. It's got the name, the looks, the engine, the attitude. And as V8s slowly disappear from new car showrooms, this one will stand out even more. It's a celebration of combustion. A monument to noise and motion and speed. And we're here for it. If you're wondering whether the 2026 Monte Carlo is just another attempt at nostalgia, the answer is a hard number. This is something new. Something bold. And maybe, just maybe, something legendary in the making. So whether you're planning to daily drive it, track it, or just trip donuts in an empty parking lot, the Monte Carlo invites you to do it loud, fast, and with a smile on your face. And that's what it's all about.